In our first story, government has assured it will from next week begin posting nurses who have successfully completed their training into health facilities across the country. According to the Employment and Labour Relations Minister Haruna Idrisu, the delay in posting the nurses is due to an ongoing validation process to absorb them into the system. The assurance was given to a group of nurses who besieged the Flagstaff house in Accra on Monday morning demanding postings.
The nurses started arriving at the Flagstaff house as early as 8 a.m. Monday morning. They vowed to remain at the seat of government for as long as necessary to put pressure on government to give them a firm commitment of employment or employed into service. As their numbers increased, police were deployed to keep the pace. Officers forced the group of nurses to move away from the Flagstaff house, insisting that the seat of government is a security zone.
This is not the appropriate place, so if you don't do it, stop doing it.
The group, made up of psychiatric nurses, midwives, general nurses and community nurses, completed their training in 2013 and 2014 at the various state-run health training institutions, but have since been neglected by the Ministry of Health. Leaders of the group said, although members have been bonded for between 3 to 5 years by the ministry, they are yet to be put to work in government health facilities. According to the nurses, the bond has become a burden since they cannot be employed by any private health facility.
In fact, as we speak now, we are here as individuals who are coming to ask our Papa, President John Dramani Mahama, whilst we've been left in the house since 2013 after completing school, bonded by government not to go anywhere but to serve the country. Since 2013, we've been in the house till now. We've made relentless follow-ups to Ministry of Health, all to no avail, always giving us no short reassurances.
What has the Ministry of Health been telling you over this period?
In fact, it will interest you to know that even the Minister himself has been giving us dates. For example, by the end of August, we will be posted. August will expire, nothing better will happen. He will give us another month again. We will patiently wait. The leadership have been coming, always being referred. Go and come till date. Since 2013, we completed school.
Okay.
Actually, our being here is necessitated by the failure, persistent failure of the leaders, especially the ministers, responsible for clearing us financially and posting us. We've made several follow-ups have been made, but they proved to be untrustworthy, unreliable. You understand? So we for now, we have neglected them because they are unreliable. They have deceived us several times.
Because they've deceived you, they are not fulfilling their promises. That is why you are here today, yes, taking things into your own hands.
We are not taking things into our own hands. You know something? It is the president who have appointed those ministers, and they prove to be untrustworthy and unreliable. I'm telling you for about years now, we are still with our poor parents depending on them.
Attempt by the Chief Executive of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the President of the Ghana Registered Nurses Association to get the nurses to leave the scene proved futile. It took the intervention of 3 ministers to get the nurses to change their minds about pitching camp at the Flagstaff house. The Deputy Health Minister, Deputy Finance Minister and Employment and Labour Relations Minister assured the group their issues are being looked at. Haruna Idrisu has been explaining reasons for the delay in posting the nurses.
It is government's collective resolve with you that should not happen to any category of nurses, nor junior doctors or doctors to be posted within the health service and to be employed by the Ghana Health Service. So accordingly, the Ministry of Health have just finalized a validation of your final list, which has been sent to the Ministry of Finance for clearance. The clearance will be provided early next week for posting.
The Deputy Finance Minister says the necessary paperwork has been done for 15,000 nurses to be employed soon.
We have actually released the first batch of the financial clearance as far back as 27th August 2015. In fact, the Ministry of Health is working with yourselves to ensure that you can get posted. The last batch is something very small. The numbers are quite small. As the minister rightly said, we hope that before the weekend we will release the last financial clearance. And then we believe that after the financial clearance is sent to the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service. They will then commence the process of your postings will start. And then obviously you go through the process of ensuring that your biometric is captured on the payroll so that we can start paying you as soon as possible.
The nurses, numbering about 100, later dispersed with the hope of having their issues addressed by the end of next week. Matilda Pumaga for Joy News.
The committee set up by the Chief Justice to probe High Court judges implicated in judicial corruption has started sitting here in Accra. The judges who were captured on video allegedly taking bribes are currently on suspension pending the outcome of investigations.
There have been a number of committees sitting since the judicial corruption scandal expose by the investigative journalist Anas Arumiyao Anas. The committee's sitting today lasted about 2 hours. It started at about 10:15 in the morning and ended after midday. The committee, headed by Supreme Court Judge Justice Ofaye Kufu, has the mandate of examining the veracity of the video evidence presented by the investigative journalist. Anas Arumiyao Anas came to the hearing on Monday in his trademark veil, accompanied by 2 decoys as a security measure. In all, some 34 judges and magistrates and more than 140 judicial staff workers who were caught on video allegedly taking bribes to influence cases before them are being probed to weed out corrupt officials from the judiciary. Monday's hearing was for the High Court judges implicated in the scandal. There is a separate panel probing similar allegations against the magistrate and judicial service staff.
A youth group within the new Patriotic Party besieged the party's headquarters on Monday morning. It might have looked like a carnival atmosphere, but they were adding their voices to an important issue that has attracted the attention of the opposition party in recent times. My colleague Hannah Dami has more.
Members of the concerned youth group from various parts of the capital this morning converged at the party's headquarters amidst drumming and dancing to add their voice to that of their leaders. Spokesperson of the group, Dennis Ahmed, says their aim was to ensure the EC hears their views on the new voters register before meeting the political parties on October 29.
We are asking for a new and credible voter register. That is all what we are asking for. Because when there is problem, normally and mostly it is the youth. We are pleading for a new and a credible voter register.
The party, the leadership of your party is already doing that, so why are you also on that tangent?
Exactly, the leadership of our party is doing. But the thing is that we, the youth, also must add our voice for the leadership to know that we are also solidly behind them.
But you know that the EC is already working on that. 29th of this month, they'll be meeting the political parties. Other bodies have also come in and they are working at it. So
yes. Yes, we know with 29th they said they are. So we want to send our message before the 29th.
Asked why no elected executive of the party was part of their gathering, this was his response.
The thing is that MPP youth, we are well cultured and respected. We don't just go about saying things that we don't know. And we always ensure that whatever we do what is right. And all the leadership that you see, they are all leaders. And whatever a leader says, all of us will take. Just as Nana Rodankwa says something and everybody accepts it.
So, what will be the group's next move if their request is not granted?
Our next action is that we are not people who will go on the streets and then create some sort of this thing, but will ensure with a serious demonstration. We will do a very serious demonstration in Ghana for them to change it. And we know that the demonstration we're going to do in Ghana, I can promise you that it has never happened in Ghana.
The EC has the final say, and they have started consultations on this. But for this youth group in the MPP, the drumming and dancing continues. My name is Hannah Adame for Joy News.
Elsewhere, President John Dramani Mahama has announced that government is instituting some new measures that will help reduce the country's rise in debts substantially. Some of these programs have already seen state-owned institutions set up a separate accounts where funds are being deposited to service their debts. Speaking on Garden City Radio on Monday, President Mahama said this will also ensure that the entire burden does not fall on government when these institutions fail or to pay the debts on time.
We've asked the SOEs to open debt service accounts, and they must escrow part of their revenues in the debt service accounts to pay off the debts that they have incurred. And so government is going to pay some of the debts, but some of the state-owned enterprises are also going to pay their debts. And then the new policy we've come up with is that the state-owned enterprises should borrow on their own balance sheets. Government is no longer going to provide those credit guarantees. Okay. And so Ghana Airport Company has started it. Ghana Airport Company has gone on the credit market and have raised in excess of 200 million, with which they have repaired the new arrival hall. They are building the whole airport. They're going to upgrade the Sunyani Airport. They are opening the Wa Airport, and they're building a new terminal in Kotoka Airport, which we call Terminal 3. Ghana Airport Company has done that on their own balance sheet. And we're going to let all the state-owned enterprises, Gapoha and all the others, borrow on their own balance sheets. And so I don't think the debt is something that we should be worried about. The investment that has been made in this country will pay off enough to be able to resolve those debt issues.
And the president also denied that the IMF has put a freeze on new borrowings. Meanwhile, an economist, Dr. Eric Osei-Sibe, who spoke yesterday on Business Live, says this measure is not necessarily the solution.
Well, I think we've heard this over and over again. Right. This new debt measures started in 2013, where government came out that it has actually instituted some new measures to reduce our debt stock, the escrow account, the infrastructure funds and all of that. And we are into the second or third year now, and nothing significant seems to be happening with regard to some of these new measures, because even as of now, the infrastructure fund, we don't know the state of it now, where it has gotten to the sinking fund and the escrow account. We keep hearing them, but very little is seen on the ground as to how these things are being operated upon. And so it's not just about paying lip service to new measures. It's about making sure that they are actually working and it's making some kind of inroads into our debt stock. Our debt levels keep mounting. We keep having huge debt overhang. And I don't know when this is going to stop. Looking at the fact that government own precarious financial position today, government has to continuously borrow in order to even service its maturing debt. And also the fact that we still have huge infrastructure deficits, it means that government will continue to borrow. So really, I do not see where the downward trend is going to come from. We need to do more and more in order to get this thing, reversed. And otherwise, just the mere measures that you keep trumpeting, I don't see it really having any positive effect on the debt stock, at least for now.
We're still staying with the presidency because President Mahama has cut the sword for work to officially begin on the Kumasi Central Market Kejetia redevelopment project. The market project is expected to enhance socio-economic growth and ease congestion in the Garden City under a comprehensive urban development program.
The financing of this market complex is being done under our new public debt management strategy. As a result of this, an on-lending agreement has been signed with the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. What it means is that government has taken the loan and has on-lent it to the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. The Assembly is expected to open a debt service account into which a portion of the proceeds made from the revenues of this market will be paid. towards repaying the cost of the loan that was extended. That is the financing structure. And this is part of the new public debt management strategy we are implementing, where state-owned enterprises for which government takes loans will be required to service those loans out of the revenues that they earn. I wish to encourage officials of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to continue to work with the Two Force Committee to resolve the remaining concerns of traders in the old KJ market and inform their outstanding issues that the Two Force Committee is dealing with. And it is my hope that the KMA would cooperate with the committee so that we shall resolve all the issues to everybody's satisfaction. Let me also assure you all, especially the current traders in the old market enclave, that you will be given first priority in the allocation of stalls and shops in the new KJTR Kumasi market complex.
All right, that's it for the AM News. Stay with me. I'll come back and tell you what the newspapers are reporting, at least the major ones.